boys, so today we are looking at volume and capacity. So we have done volume of a rectangular prism, and when we got our answers for volume, we got our answers in milliliters cubed or centimetres cubed or metres cubed or kilometres cubed. So volume is actually measuring a solid or a gas. So in other words, if I was looking at something like a concrete block, all right, and concrete is hard, so that's a solid. So if I was trying to measure a concrete block and the volume of it, I would give my answer in maybe centimetres cubed, okay, because I'm measuring a solid. But if it was a gas, so for instance, I might be trying to work out how much air is in this room. Air is a gas. Or I might be looking at how much oxygen is in a container, or I might be looking at how much hydrogen is in another container. Those things are gases. So if we're looking at a gas in a room or in an enclosed container or a solid, I would be looking in millimetres cubed, centimetres cubed, metres cubed or kilometres cubed. And we call that volume. But when we go to liquids, we're actually measuring in milliliters, litres and kiloliters inside that container. You just have to go into the fridge and have a look at the juice or the milk. It's all in milliliters or litres. Okay, so we call that capacity. All right, so it's really important that we know what the two things are and we know how to change from one thing to another. So I might have a container and at the moment it might be empty. Well, it's got gas inside it, hasn't it? There's air in it. But then when I put a liquid into it, I'm going to have to change from cubic units, centimetres cubed maybe, into a liquid measurement like litres or milliliters. So this is how we convert volume and capacity. So I want you to think about a little cube with a 1 centimetre side. Right? So all the side lengths are the same. So if you have 1 centimetre by 1 centimetre by 1 centimetre, tiny little cube. Have a look at how big a centimetre is on your ruler. So it's a very little cube. Now, how much liquid fits into that cube? I can tell you it's 1 milliliter. So if I fill it up, it totally fills with 1 milliliter. So 1 centimetre cubed equals 1 milliliter. So that should be pretty easy to remember. You have to know it, but it should be easy to remember. One of those is one of those. Now, there's one other thing you need to learn, and that's what a metre cube looks like. Now, a metre is about the distance from my fingertip to my nose, maybe. That's about a metre, roughly. Same for you, all right? That's about what a metre is. So can you imagine a cube that has a side length that big? So it's that big, by that big, by that big. So it's a pretty big cube. I would have trouble carrying it. I might be able to just pick it up and carry it around, but it's pretty big. That's 1 metre cubed. Now, how many litres could you pour into that big cube? It would be 1,000. A lot of people, when I say guess, they go, oh, maybe 100. There's actually a lot more than you think. So add another 0. It's 1,000 litres will fill that cube. So 1 metre cubed holds or equals 1,000 litres. So you need to know these two facts to be able to do what we're going to do. Now, before we get there, for the rest of these examples, we're just actually converting liquid measurements to other liquid measurements. So we're going to revise this first. All right, so if you have a look at the first example, we're going to complete these. All right, so I'm converting from milliliters to litres here. So if we have a look at it, to go from milliliters to litres, I am going to a bigger unit. And whenever I go to a bigger unit, I'm going to divide. Now, the little m there is milli, and milli is 1,000. We know these prefixes from when we did length. Okay, we had to do from metres to millimetres or millimetres to metres. Milli means 1,000. So when we do on our calculator 7,000 divided by 1,000, it gives you an answer of 7. So you can now write equals 7 and then just write your litres on the end. Okay, let's look at the next one. So we're going from litres to milliliters. We're going to something smaller this time. So that means we will be multiplying. Our prefix over here this time, this one had the prefix there, but this one's got the prefix over there. It's still little m for milli, and milli is 1,000. So we're going to go to our calculator and do 3.5 times 1,000. And your calculator will give you this answer. And then you're just going to write milliliters on the end. Okay, let's have a look at the next one. We're going from litres to kiloliters. A kiloliter is really big. So we're going to a bigger unit. So we're going to divide. And this time we look for our prefix, and here it is. It's kilo. And kilo also is 1,000. So we're going to do 420 divided by 1,000. So when you do that on your calculator, I want you to make sure that you're getting a decimal answer, because for measurements, we do use decimals. Right, so we've got 420 divided by 1,000 and press equals. And it does actually give you a decimal straight off if we use your division key. So we're going to write down 0.42 kiloliters on the end. Okay, next question. We're going from kiloliters to litres. A kiloliter is really big. So this is actually smaller. To go to a smaller unit, you times. Our prefix is little k, kilo, and that is 1,000. So 5 times 1,000 on your calculator will give you 5,000. Then write litres on your end of your answer, and that's it. Now we're going to some tricky ones now. So even if you're having trouble with these, I want them all written down in your book. But when it comes to the exercise in the book, if you have trouble with these ones, this will be extension for people that are better in the class. All right, so let's have a look. The tricky ones. Now, we're going from 5,200 kilolitres to, now that is not a little m, that's a capital M. I've done it the same size as the capital L, so you can see it's a big M. Now, I want you to write this note down. The big M, not the little m, is mega. And mega means 1,000,000. All right, so the prefix mega, capital M, is 1,000,000. So let's see what happens here. Now, we have 2 prefixes here. We've got kilo and we've got mega. So that's too confusing to know what number we're talking about. So this is what we do. We go to what we call the base unit. The base unit does not have a prefix. So we're just going to look at the second letter here, and that's capital L. That's our base unit, so we're going to go to L first. So for us to go from kilolitres to litres, we're going here now. We're going to a smaller unit. So smaller, we times, and we're only looking at one prefix now, it's just this one. And K for kilo is 1,000. No, we're not going to work it out, we're just going to go straight over here now. So we're going from litres to megalitres. So megalitres is really big. So we're going to a bigger unit. So we divide by, now mega is our only prefix, and remember that's 1,000,000. Okay, so on your calculator, you are going to press 5,200. Okay, we're going to press times 1,000, times 1,000. Don't work anything out yet, we haven't finished. Then we're going to press divided by 1,000,000. Divided by, just count the zeros, yep. And now we're going to press equals. And that's it, 5.2. And now we're going to write megalitres on the end. Big capital M, remember. All right, next one. We're going to do F. It's another tricky one. Not a hard question. So remember what we do? We look at it and go, whoops, we have 2 prefixes. We don't know what to do when there's 2 of them. So we're going to go to our base unit, which is the second letter with nothing in front. And that's L. So we're going from megalitres to litres. We're going smaller this time. When you go smaller, you times. And remember, mega is 1,000,000. So let's write down a million, 6 zeros. Okay, now we're going from litres to kiloliters. A kiloliter is bigger than a litre. When you go bigger, you're dividing. And our only prefix here is K for kilo. That's 1,000. So now we're ready for our calculator. We've just got to put it all in now. So we get our calculator and we press in 6.2. 6.2. Then we're going to press times 1 million times 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then we're going to press divided by 1,000. Divided by 1, 2, 3. And now you can press equals. 6,200. And then we can put kiloliters on the end. Okay, so we're going to come back in the next video and do some more practice with word problems in this work.